ट्रांसलेशन में। हरे कृष्णा। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होइते करे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होइते करे। स्थावर जंगम जड़ चेतन मायानु बड़ झटति ठरे। स्मरण कर श्री कृष्ण चंद्रनु, जन्म जन्म ना पाप टळे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। नवरे मास रही गर्भम प्राणी, कृष्ण चंद्र नु ध्यान करे। मायानुजा कर्यु आवरण, लख 84 फेरा फरे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। दोरी सोनी हरी ने हाथे, एणे भराव्यु डगलु भरे। जेवो जंत्र वगाड़े जंत्री, तेवो तेनो स्वर निसरे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। तारू धार्यु थातु होय तो सुख साचे ने दुख हरे। राख भरोसो राधा वरनु, जीव हवे तुषिदने डरे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करयु हे करे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। दोरी सोनी हरी निहाथे, एणे भराव्यु डगलु भरे। जेवो जंत्र वगाड़े जंत्री, तेवो तेनो स्वर निसरे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। स्थावर जंगम जड़ चेतन मायानु बड़ झटति ठरे। स्मरण कर श्री कृष्ण चंद्रनु, जन्म जन्म न पाप हरे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। चित्त तुषिदने चिंता धरे, कृष्ण ने करबू होय करे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। ये सॉन्ग में बताया गया है कि हम कैसे शरणागति लेनी है, क्योंकि माया का जो बल है, वो प्रकृति में जो माया का प्रभाव है हम पे बहुत ही तुरंत आ जाता है। तो यहाँ पे कहते हैं कि आप हो सके उतना स्मरण करो, श्री कृष्ण चंद्र नु स्मरण कर, तो क्या होगा, उससे जन्म जन्म के हमारे जो पाप है वो मिट जाएंगे। तो यहाँ पे ये फर्स्ट स्टैंजे में ये बताया है कि आप हो सके इतना कृष्ण का शरणागति लीजिए और उनका स्मरण कीजिए। क्योंकि क्यों ऐसा करना है, क्योंकि हमने जब माता के वूम में हम थे तब 9 मास तक हमने भगवान से प्रार्थना की थी कि हे भगवान, जब हम इस बार हमें चांस दीजिए, हम यहाँ से निकालिए कि हम बाहर आके आपका नाम स्मरण करेंगे। मगर जैसे ही हम बाहर आते हैं, माया हमें पकड़ लेती है और फिर वापस हम भूल जाते हैं। तो यहाँ पे वही बताया कि जहाँ माया नु कर्यु आवरण, तो क्या होता है फिर उससे हम वापस 84 लाख स्पीसीज में घूमते रहते हैं, 184 फेरा फरे। तो यहाँ पे चित्त, जो चित्त मीन्स आत्मा, तू चिंता मत कर, कृष्ण को जो करना है वो कर, मगर तू भगवान का नाम स्मरण कर। थर्ड स्टेंजे में बता रहे हैं कि हमारे जीवन की जो डोरी है, डोर जो है कहते हैं, वो भगवान के हाथ में है। वो जैसे करेंगे वैसा ही हम कर सकते हैं। कल ही हमने बताया था क्लास में, चारू प्रभु जी ने, निमित्त मात्र, हम सिर्फ निमित्त मात्र है, बाकी कुछ नहीं है, ऐसा हमें हमेशा सोचना है। और जैसे भगवान चाहे वैसा ही हम काम कार्य कर सकते, हम वैसा ही कार्य करना है। मतलब जेवो जंत्र वगाड़े जंत्री, तेवो तेनो स्वर मिश्रे। तो चित्त तू चिंता मत कर, मेरी शरण ले ले। और लास्ट स्टेंजा में बताया है, अगर अगर कुछ भी आपके हाथ में हुआ हो तो सबको सुख ही चाहिए। अगर हमारे हाथ में सब कुछ होता तो हम कभी दुखी नहीं होते, मगर ऐसा नहीं है, हम डिपेंडेंट है, हम इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं है, हम डिपेंडेंट है, भगवान पे हम डिपेंड करते हैं। हमारी जो फ्री विल है, छोटी सी फ्री विल है, वो भी हमें भगवान को दे देनी चाहिए। तो भगवान कहते हैं कि भाई तू भरोसा रख, श्रद्धा रखो, हैव फेथ, फेथ ऑन मी, और तू चिंता मत कर, डर मत, मैं हूं, तू डर मत। तो ये जो छोटा सा सॉन्ग है गुजराती, उसका ये भावार्थ है। तो यहाँ पे हम सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहम तम सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षामि मा शुच। डर मत, लास्ट में जीव हवे तू शीरने डरे। तो इसका ये मीनिंग है। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। थैंक यू प्रभु जी फॉर सो वंडरफुल सेवा। हरे कृष्णा, धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू माता जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Can we have invocation prayers, Prabhuji? Then we'll have recap. Or directly recap?
Yeah, I think you can start with this.
Okay, prayers, then we can have recap. Yes, no, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Yes, Hare Krishna. Then pranam to all devotees. So we are today in lesson 7 for Govinda Bhashya, the nature of Supreme Person within. So before that, we'll go for invocation prayers and then recap for lesson 6. And then we'll proceed for the session of lesson 7. So let us offer invocation prayers. Mangalacharan. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanshya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगन रघुनाथान्वितां त्वां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगन ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितानिश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीन इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवार्ष भानवी देवी दैताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाट्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते दीन तारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धा सिद्धांत द्वंत हारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बरसाम्भूते पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तिशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So nice prayers offered by Raksha Mataji on Chittatu Shidhane Chintadhare. So thank you, Raksha Mataji. Over to you, Prabhuji, for recap seva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji's Mataji is now. I'm just doing the recap for lesson 6. Let me share my screen. Hare Krishna.
भाई increase the volume a little.
Volume, Prabhu. Oh, 1 second. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is this better, Prabhu?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Let me share my screen, Prabhu. Slightly doing a different way of recap, Prabhu. Just experimenting. Please excuse me. We will see, Prabhu, how it goes. Yes. We're having a constant feedback from Charu Prabhu that we have to complete it in 20-25 minutes. Okay. You're slightly experimenting in a slightly in a different way. Yeah. We're able to see it is just loading, I guess. You got it right. Hare Krishna. Okay. So we were doing the recap for lesson 6, that is 1112 to 116. This one, okay, which I'm showing here, is like Adhikarna 6, the Supreme Brahman is full of bliss. Yeah. So this is what we're doing, Adhikarna. What I try to do is we have total 6 sutras. So I have put together all the 6 sutras at one place. Okay. In a small grid kind of thing, because all sutras looks very similar, but again they are different. Okay. Let me bring it up. That is like a summary of the entire session, and then we will have 6 questions for each sutra. Each sutra, 1 question. That's it. That is how you will go. Okay. Hope you are able to see. So I'm going to spend maybe 5 minutes on each, on overall all the sutras. Okay. Maybe I may take around 1 or 2 minutes for each sutra, and we'll try to recollect what we have discussed in the sutra, and then we'll go for 6 questions for each sutra. Is that fine, Sharat Prabhu? Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So, because each sutra is a distinct and also very similar, I have put these headings: sutra and what is the name, and then description, small description, and why this signal, this sutra is very important, and is there any connected with the previous sutra, and what is the key takeaway for this particular sutra for all of us? Yeah. So this is a small grid I have prepared. Yeah. Hope my voice is good. So I'm starting with Sutra 1112. Yeah. Sutra 1112. So what is this sutra is talking about? This sutra is Anandamayo Bhyasat. Anandamayo Bhyasat. What does it mean for us? That is, Brahman is full of bliss. Brahman is what? Full of bliss. So what is that? Is a description. So establish the term Anandamaya is referred to the Supreme Brahman, because Vedic scriptures repeatedly describe that Brahman is the embodiment of transcendental bliss. Okay. So Anandamaya is refers to, that is Supreme Brahman, and it is embodiment of transcendental bliss. Okay. So this is introducing a central thesis for this entire session for the lesson 6. This particular sutra, that the Brahman is essential nature, okay, and is blissful and transcendental. Okay. So this is the first sutra in this particular lesson. So okay, this is a foundational sutra. So what is the key takeaway for this? Brahman is infinite. Brahman is what? The infinite reservoir of eternal bliss. Yeah. So that is what we have seen in this sutra. Now let us move into the next sutra. That is 1113. In 1113, what is that sutra is talking about? Okay, Vikara Shabdhan Netichan na Prachurat. So what is this particular sutra is talking about? The sutra is telling that Anandamaya, here the main confusion could come is Maya. Okay, that is what Sharat Prabhu has detailed explained in last week. Anandamaya means fullness, not transformation. The Maya is there, right? That Maya, there is a meaning for transformation also. But here the concept is, it is not a transformation or anything. Anandamaya means fullness. Okay. So the sutra is supporting the previous one and giving little more explanation if there is any confusion. Okay, Prabhuji's Mataji's. So this refutes the objection of Anandamaya, means a transformation of bliss, because it clarifies that the suffix Maya means not transformation, it is abundance and fullness in this context. Okay, it is supporting the previous sutra, and also if there is any wrong meaning, it is correcting it. Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay, so what is the significance? This protects the correct interpretation of the previous Anandamaya and preserves Brahman, transcendental and eternal nature. That is what it is doing. So this builds a directly 1112 previous sutra by clarifying the meaning of Anandamaya. If there is any confusion on Maya, it is removing. Okay. So what is the key takeaway for this? Brahman is not transformed bliss. There is no meaning of Maya means transformation. No. He is eternally full and limitless bliss. Okay, that is the key takeaway for us. Hare Krishna. Now let us see 4 more sutras. What is next sutra it is talking about? Taddetu vrapya desacha. So what is the meaning of that? Brahman is the source of bliss. Okay, so the previous slokas, what is saying? Brahman is full of bliss. Here the Brahman is source of bliss. So let us understand the description for this. This is establishing the Brahman is the source of bliss for all living beings, whereas Jivatma is the receiver of bliss, and the source is Brahman. Source is Brahman. So Brahman is the source for the bliss. So he is the transmitter and we are the receiver, in a very simple nutshell. Okay. So this is a clear distinction between Supreme Brahman and individual souls. And this is extending from the previous loka by providing the Brahman alone possesses a independent transcendental bliss. So what is the key takeaway for us? Brahman gives the bliss, Jivatma receives bliss. So sender and receiver. Yeah. So we need to understand very clearly. Okay. And there is a connection for each sutra from the previous sutra. That also we need to understand. Yeah. So we are left with just 3 more sutras. Let us understand. What is next sutra? 1115. That is mantra varnika mevacha giyate. Okay. Now what is that? It is telling. Confirmed by the Vedic mantras. This is being confirmed in Vedic mantras. Whatever we are learning, that is being confirmed by Veda mantra. We're not teaching you anything new here. Yeah. So confirms that Anandamaya Brahman is described in Upanishads. Yeah. is the same Supreme Brahman glorified through Vedic mantras. So whatever is mentioned in Upanishads and what is there in the actual real Veda, it's all same, and it is been talking about Supreme Brahman. Okay, Hare Krishna. Now, what is the significance of this sutra? Strengthen the conclusion through authoritative Vedic evidence and harmonizes the scripture descriptions. See, we have to follow the scriptures, okay, not our own interpretation. That is what this sutra is also emphasizing. So, supports the earlier conclusion that the direct Vedic references and mantra authority. Okay, all Vedic scriptures constantly describing the same supreme Brahman. Okay, so now with this we have done the recap of 1115. Now I am moving to 1116. So what is this 1116 is talking about? 1116 is talking about the individual soul cannot be Brahman. It's very important. So what is this? Let me read it once. Netarenu papa tehe. So what does it mean? The individual soul cannot be Brahman. This is very straight. He explains what is the short description for this. This explains the logical inconsistency there is if the Jivatma is considered an identical Brahman. If somebody says that this is same as Brahman, no, this is very clearly it is telling all of us. Brahman is the supreme enjoyer and Jiva are the subordinate enjoyers. Yeah, that is what this is talking about. Now, philosophically, this sutra establishes that the distinction between Brahman and individual souls, even if somebody has a 1% confusion, no. Okay, even these sutras also explaining that the individual soul cannot be Brahman. Okay, so what is next? This takes the previous scriptural conclusions and strengthen them through a logical analysis. That is what this sutra is telling. So what is a key takeaway for us? Jivatma is eternally dependent on Brahman for bliss. Yeah. Because we are individual. Okay. Individual souls cannot be Brahman. So Jivatma is eternally dependent on Brahman for bliss. Now the next sutra. That is what? Very important. It's a small one, only one slide, but still very important. What is that he's telling? Veda Vyapa Desacha. Scriptures declare this particular difference. So what is this particular description is talking about? Establishes through the Vedic literature that the Brahman and Jivatmas are eternally distinct through scripturally related. Scriptures also supporting the same. So introduce the principle of simultaneous oneness and difference. Veda Tattva is being talked by this sutra. So finalize the argument by giving the what is this sutra is linked with any of the previous sutras. Finalize the argument by being the explicit scriptural declaration of the distinction. So what is the key takeaway for this particular sutra? Liberation means a spiritual realization and relationship with Brahman and not loss with individuality. So liberation means a spiritual realization and relationship with Brahman and not loss the individuality. So that is a key takeaway. So Hare Krishna. So this is a simple description. All 6 sutras are put at one place so that we understand each sutra and also we understand the difference between each sutra and also there is a takeaway from each sutra for all of us. Okay. So this gives a clear takeaway from the previous session. Now we will go 6 questions, 6 questions. Each sutra, one question we will have. Is that make sense, Prabhuji's Mataji's? Hare Krishna. Is my voice is good? Everything is good?
Yeah, it's a nice Prabhuji. Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
Prabhuji. Perfect.
Thank you. Otherwise, it is causing so much confusion, Mataji's, Prabhuji's. The reason is like all the sutras are talking very similar subject, but still different. That is the reason I try to bring it in that way. Yeah. Doesn't mean that we have to follow every time this particular thing. Yeah. I can share that particular grid in case if you want. Yeah.
Sure, Prabhuji, please share.
Sure. Please. This makes sense, gives the idea that all 500, how many are 550 sutras could be put in this way also. It's a good.
Otherwise, we cannot understand the difference. We need some threads for mind to understand. Okay, so I'm not going through individual slides because this is only a recap. Okay, not everything. But now the question is on from the first sutra. So what is that first sutra? Anandamaya Vyasa. This is the root sutra for the lesson 6. Okay, and from this particular slide. So everyone can answer, even if you refer this particular slide. Okay. Why this Vedanta conclude that Anandamaya refers to the Supreme Brahman rather than individual soul? We just now discussed is a source, everything. Okay, can be answered in that way. Yeah. Hare Krishna, you understood the question, right? Anandamaya is being defined as Supreme Brahman.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, go ahead, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so as you explained, there are 5 sutras, right? 5 or 6 sutras. But
6 sutras.
Anandamaya, who is the Anandamaya? Who is the independent? Who is the full of bliss? This is the main.
Yes.
And to support that, there are other sutras adding to that. So
Perfect.
just like saying that, Jiva and Brahman, are they same or different? Then it says that since Jivas are depending on the, Brahman, so that Brahman is it's the full. This is not prefix, just identifying, because it's not a transformation. Because transformation, that means the original. There was a word called essence and attribute. I think there was a word, if you look at that. So attribute is one of the character, essence is the essence. Bhagwan is the compassionate, that essence, period. It's not it's not attribute of Bhagwan, right? So like that, Brahman is full of bliss. And then subsequent sutras are talking about, because it is also referring to mantras, because mantras are chanted to get us to Paramatma, right? To get into Bhagwan. So the one which connects to Bhagwan, that mantra, it has got a bliss. So again, giving many evidences to prove that anyway he's the supreme, anyway he's the full of bliss, and we are also using in the mantras which we chant. So all the way they are giving it, and Jiva and Paramatma cannot be the same, because this will continue throughout. That looks like so far we are doing, it will continue remaining also, because Brahman is both are Brahman. So we understand, but we are Anu, Lord is a Vibhu. So differentiation is there. This is what I understand, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Thank
wonderful,
you.
Prabhu.
You did so nicely. You did
Yeah.
very nice
Yeah.
presentation.
You also did very nicely, Prabhu. You have explained everything from your heart. Yeah, that is very nice. Your understanding is from heart. That's what I see. So we'll move to the second question. Question. That is from the Sutra 1113. So vikara shabdhan neti channa prachurat. So what is this particular sutra is talking about? Let us see. And it is all in front of us, this particular sutra, and very, very, very small message, but supporting the previous sutra if there is a confusion. Okay, so that is trying to bring, that is trying to brought from Sharat Prabhu in the last session and also from the slides. Why this sutra 1113 rejects the interpretation of Anandamaya means transformation of bliss? That is what it is, not transformation. It is not transformation. Why it is being focused in that way? Why that is being focused? In fact, today also we discussed in a very short way.
Maya means the fullest, abundance.
Perfect.
सो मतलब यहाँ पे वो बताया गया है कि वो जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन नहीं होता है, आनंदमय का कोई ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन नहीं है, वो हमारा जो आनंद है वो बढ़ता जाता है, एब्यूडेंस, फुल. क्योंकि ये जो प्रोसेस है उसमें कभी भी ऐसा नहीं है कि आज कम हुआ, क्योंकि वो डेली बढ़ेगा. तो यहाँ पे ये बताया है.
Yes, Mataji. You have put in the right point. Okay, that's it.
Prabhuji, also we have to, when you are going, let's add one. Transformation is an essence, right? It's a Lord's character, it's essence. Bhagwan is a compassionate. It's an essence, right? That's how the Bhagwan is there. Transformation means it is a change, and Lord, there is no change, because that word, if you don't understand, then we also miss it. So this is the essence. There is no change. Like we Jivas can change from mundane to spiritual, right? So that vikaras, the word vikaras are used with that context. So there is no change, and that then it adds that it's a prefix and all those things are mentioned. So the main purpose to highlight is that Brahman by essence, it is a bliss, full of bliss.
Yeah, good. Yeah, both of you did very well. Excellent. You have hit the right points. Okay. Yeah, let's move to the next sutra. That is Sutra 3. That is that de tu vyapa desa cha. Yeah. So that is what is this. Let's have a question on this particular thing. How does the Sutra 1114 establish that Brahman is a source of bliss, while the Jivatma is only receiver of the bliss? So Brahman is the source and Jivatma is receiver. So how this sutra is establishing to all of us? Yeah. We want to elaborate a little bit on this particular sutra of your understanding. Yeah.
Because we are the part and parcel of the Brahman. We are the part of the Brahman. So we are very, very small part. We are Anu, Bhagwan is Vibhu. So we are the receiver of the bliss.
Brahman. Yeah. Yeah. That is what is
Brahman.
this sutra is confirming to all of us. Yeah.
We are because we are a small part and parcel. We experience this bliss in a very small fraction, and it goes away. So we are never complete in that bliss. We are always yearning more and more for that. We are always searching that. Had we been the source, we wouldn't have been searching for that.
Yeah, good Mataji. Yeah, very good understanding.
ब्रह्मन जो है वो पूरा रिजर्वर है, सागर है ब्लिस का, और हम उसमें से एक छोटा सा ड्रॉप.
Yeah, makes sense.
One point, independence also. Brahman is source and is independent, whereas we are dependent. So that dependence is highlighted more profoundly here.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Ravuji. So I'm going to fourth sutra and fourth question also. Okay, total we have only 6 questions. That's it. Okay. Now we are at a slide number 12 and then sutra number 15. So what is this sutra is telling is mantra vadnika meva acha giyate. So let us see, the meaning is there on the top. Okay, you can refer that. How this does Sutra 1115 prove that Anandamaya Brahman is described in the Upanishads is same as the Supreme Brahman glorified through Vedas? Yes or no? That is what is this sutra is talking about. How this sutra is prove that? How this sutra is proving us with some examples or anything like that. Yeah. There are some in Vedic description. There is some nice phrases there that you can use to answer this. Yeah. I'm just giving a hint.
Prabhuji, one shloka is there. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Abhinatvam Nama Namino. मतलब नाम और नामी में कोई फर्क नहीं है, both are same. So जो भी मंत्र हम chant करते हैं, it represents the Brahman. It represents आनंदमय Brahman. उसी लिए हमें अगर हम जब भी भगवान का नाम लेते हैं तो हमें वो आनंद थोड़ी अनुभूति होती है कि हमें बहुत आनंद होता है अंदर से कि हमने भगवान का नाम लिया जब भी हम चैंटिंग करते हैं.
So we were talking of the source and the giver and the receiver. The source and and the person who is getting the glimpse of that particular essence. So how do I, the whole idea is what, to get connected to that source. So how do I get connected? So the whole knowledge is there from the Vedas and Upanishads. So, but what is the form? In what way? So vibrations. These vibrations come through mantras. So these mantras gives you a glimpse that there is bliss. So we are approaching the limitless through our small limits.
Perfect. Yeah.
Brahman is described as a Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman.
Yeah. All good. Very good points. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mataji. Now we are moving to Sutra 16. Okay, Sutra 16 and 17. Very easy for us to understand. Let us see that. Okay, only 2 questions were left out. What is this Sutra is talking about for us? Let us see that. What is the question regarding that? Why this Sutra 1160 is largely rejecting the idea that the Jivatma and Brahman are absolutely, they are only identical. See, what is the description he is telling here? If you see, Prabhuji's Mataji's, the description is, one second. Yeah, slide number 13, perfect. Yeah, 16. Yes, perfect. So, why logically rejecting that the Jivatma and Brahman are identical? We never accept that they are identical. Yes or no? Yes or no? So why this sutra is accepting, and what is your explanation? Okay, for this particular 116. Okay, they are not same. This is very easy for us, all of us to answer. We spend good
They are
amount.
not. They are not same in size or
Yes.
proportion.
Qualitatively
Yes.
and quantitatively different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But ultimately, they have a connection because the Jivatma is yearning for the joy and the Brahman is full of joy.
Full
So
of joy.
unless and until the Jivatma will not get connected to the Brahman, he will forever be in the mode of suffering.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Mutaji. Okay. So let's move to the last sloka and last sutra, okay, for the today's recap. That is there in the slide 14. So let us see this. What is this sutra is talking about? Is the theme is difference between Brahma and Jiva. In fact, like this is perfect example of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. Yeah. So how this Sutra 1117 establishes that the simultaneous oneness and difference between Brahman and Jivatma. Simultaneous oneness and difference between Brahman and Jivatma. So what is this? He's talking about Bheda Vyapadesasya. That is what is this Sutra is talking about. Yeah. So my question towards that direction is how this sutra establishes simultaneously oneness and difference between Brahman and Jiva. And also, like we discussed this particular sutra in explanation multiple times. So what is your takeaway or what is your understanding of this? Hare Krishna.
Brahman is the complete Purusha and he has his Prakriti. He has spread out himself in the form of his Prakriti.
Brahman is
Now,
infinite.
So now if I distinguish between the Brahman and the Prakriti, I won't be able to respect his Prakriti. So hence they're saying everybody is interconnected. So Achintya Bhedabhed, because the Brahman does not get entangled by the material modes, he is transcendent, he is beyond. And the Jivatma is entangled with the material modes. So if the Jivatma starts seeing Brahman in everything, so then he gets the idea of Brahman, but then he also starts transcending the material modes.
Yeah. Yes.
The Vedic literature teaches this. This is the proof. Vedic जो भी हमारे scriptures है वो proof है. So we have to follow the scriptures and do our bhakti.
Perfect.
Guru Shastra and Sadhu. यहाँ पे हम कह सकते हैं Guru Shastra. We have to follow Guru Shastra and Sadhu.
Yeah. One simple thing, what I would say is Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. That is simultaneous inconceivable oneness and also a difference. That is that particular theme, this particular what is it? Sloka, not sloka.
Sutra.
A sutra is introducing for all of us. Introduced for all of us. Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. That is what is being introduced. That is the reason it is telling, right? Bheda Vyapa Desacha. Okay? Yeah. So I am done with the 6 questions. Actually, Charu Prabhu is insisting let's have 5 questions. So it covers the entire site so that it will not be stretched for the person who is doing the recap and also the answering. And also it gives enough time for the presenter, okay, who is presenting. Okay, so I tried in this particular pattern. Okay, okay. Hopefully you like this approach. Hare Krishna, Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Wonderful.
Prabhuji. So wonderful
Wonderful,
recap.
Prabhuji.
So wonderful. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Amazing. Thank you,
Dandavat.
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I have just 10 seconds to add it. Prabhuji,
Yeah,
you
please,
did a
please.
nice skill sheet is started. Maybe there are few other slokas, just add it and keep it so that we may be adding, those who do it, they can add it 5, 6 sutra into the same Excel sheet. At the end of the day, we'll have a nice one sheet together where we can have 558 sutra, right?
Yeah, yeah,
One,
that's a
Yes.
great idea,
This
Prabhu.
practice
Yeah.
should be
That is a great
continued.
idea. Great
Continue.
idea.
This
Yes.
So
prac-
everybody
yes.
will follow. You just finish few more are to add it, 10 more like that, and then a new one will add. Whoever
Yeah.
does that will add.
Yes, yes.
Perfect,
Because
Wonderful
human
Prabhuji.
idea,
mind,
Prabhuji.
we forget. It is very easy for us to forget. So
Correct.
once we see that, we recollect all the sutras and we understand the difference as well. Yeah. Perfect.
Prabhuji,
Fine,
it
upload
is
that.
possible to start from one.
Yeah, maybe we can see that. But first, let me
He
upload
can
it.
add 10 more. No, he has to add only 10 or 11 more. That's
Ah,
it.
yes, yes.
Previous one. Then it will start. Yes.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Am I audible properly?
Yes, Mataji. You're
Yes,
audible.
Mataji. Yes, yes.
Okay. So thank you, Prasad Prabhuji, as usual, with so innovative ideas and presented so well, recap Seva. So thank you. And also thank you, Raksha Mataji, for offering such nice prayers. Yes, today we are in lesson 7. Here we do see that is Adhikarna 7, the nature of the Supreme Person within. And as it is in connection with the further extension of what Prasad Prabhuji have followed in Recap Seva. So yes, as we are going through Govinda Bhashya, and it is the celebrated commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, that is Brahma Sutra, that has been written by Sri Baldev Vidyabhushanji as one of the most foremost acharya of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And in this commentary, Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan establishes that the supreme truth is Bhagwan Shri Krishna, the supreme person possessing. Here it is there, titled the supreme person, and who has got the eternal form, the qualities, the energies, and inconceivable potencies. Okay, so in this commentary, we see that the Supreme Person who is residing within all beings is in Paramatma Swarup that exists in the form of Super Soul, who's been also referred as Antaryami, that is, who is inner controller, and the indwelling Supreme Person. Okay, and so all these explanations, those are based on Upanishadic passages and Vedanta Sutras, especially Kathopanishad, Shvetashvatar Upanishad, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavatam, etc. So today we'll see this Adhikarna Sivin, that is the nature of the Supreme Person within. Okay, so what here we can see in this first slide. So as we go through, it is 17 Sutra. And this sutras, so just now Prabhuji has taken Anandamayo Bhyasa. They're so explanatory, no? Sutras, they're the shortest words and there's so much of meaning. Okay, so I like this concept. Even we do see the verses that are too lengthy, too huge, with 2 lines, 4 lines, etc. But the sutras, they are so concise. Okay, and it really it is a packet full of information. Okay, so while studying this, preparing for the lecture, I got to understand that the formulation of the sutra is really a very different kind of intellect that is very much required. And what we can see, it is the caliber and potential of Sri Baldev Vidyabhushanji, and through whom Lord Govindji, who speaks. And here, as we see the personality of Brahman, as per this shloka, that is Veda Vyapadeshacha. Okay, so as this sutra, so the personality of Brahman and the individual conscious Jivatman, okay, they are different. Okay, so because the Vedic literature teaches the fact. So here, Brahman and Jivatma, they are different. So it is being told, and it is the central point of in this Govinda Bhashya, and is the distinction between individual soul, that is Jiva, and the supreme soul, that is Paramatma. And so, though both are, they are conscious, eternal, and spiritual in nature, they are not equal. So just now in this recap, Seva, we all had discussed, told by Radha Govind Prabhuji, Radha Vinod Prabhuji, then by Raksha Mataji. Okay, the few points, those are elaborated that. So both uh, the conscious with respect to if consciousness we do see, and the spirituality. Okay, so here it matters. The distinction between Brahman and individual Jivatmans. Okay, so what here it has been explained. So here the sutra states that the personality of Brahman, okay, and the individual conscious Jivatman, they are different as affirmed by Vedic literature. Okay, so it is not someone else just interpreting and with the views is explaining. It's not like that. So it is based on the Shastric literature, Vedic literature, and this distinction is foundational for understanding the relationship between the supreme and the individual soul. Okay, so this particular sutra, it clearly distinguishes between who is Brahman and who are Jivatma, and there is Vedic support. So as per Taittiriya Upanishad, which shows that understanding the personality of Godhead leads to transcendent bliss, indicating that Jivatman's experience of bliss derives from its relationship with Brahman. And this reinforces the idea that Brahman is the source of pleasure. Brahman is the source of pleasure and is distinct from the individual who enjoys it. So as we do see the features of Jiva, as just now Raksha Mataji said, Jiva is atomic in size, is Anu, and Brahman is Vibhu, is infinite. So Jiva is limited in knowledge, while as the Lord is omniscient, and Jiva is subjected to illusion and bondage, while as Lord and Brahman, they are never covered by ignorance. Jiva is dependent on Lord, while as the Brahman himself is independent one, and Jivatma experiences karma in the bondage, while as Paramatma, okay, is independent, and very important thing. Okay, Paramatma is in witness Swarup, observes, and is the controller of all karma. Okay, so here it has been told that the individual soul, so how is can be distinguished from the supreme. So here the understanding about this liberation point. Getting liberation, that doesn't mean that one is going to lose the identity. So there will be the identity that will be with the jiva, and that will be never lost even though one is liberated. So this commentary explains that liberation does not equate the individual soul with Brahman. So they are not equal, but rather makes the individual similar to Brahman in quality and consciousness. So these two words, they are important, quality and consciousness. So the terms becoming Brahman, or like the personality of Brahman, suggests a qualitative resemblance rather than quantitative equality. And just now in recap Seva also we have seen, yes, Achintya Bheda Bhetattva, and this is the philosophy of our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. So, could this paradoxical and enigmatic concept of Achintya Bheda Bhetattva, hinting at a unity that is both comprehensible and intriguingly dual, serves as a key to deeper understanding? Okay, so this particular doctrine of spontaneous oneness and difference. So simultaneously, we are similar, just like the supreme person or Brahman, and there is difference also. So there is a huge difference. So we are just like a droplet with respect to the qualities. Okay, so it is a small version, the jiva is, if one considers the quantity. है ना? So this particular doctrine emphasizes that while Jivatman share qualities with Brahman, okay, they remain distinct in essence and experience. So this duality is not just a philosophical curiosity, but a profound principle that shapes our understanding of the relationship between the individual Jivatman and Supreme Being. So this particular framework helps maintain the integrity of both the Jivatman and Supreme Being. Okay, so we'll have elaborate discussion further also. So here the point about 5 to 7 out of the 7 points. So about this particular sutra 1117, so material creation and its distinction. So here's the discussion between Pradhan and Prakriti. Okay, so so there is clear-cut difference between material world and Brahman, and this argues that Pradhan is separate from Brahman. So as Brahman transcends the three modes of material nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So is beyond Brahman is beyond this three modes of material nature, and this material world, it is just nothing but it is the manifestation of the supreme personality of Godhead. And so this is the Prakriti, which is the material world. So what atheists view about? No? So this particular sutra critiques the atheistic Sankhya philosophy, which poses that material nature or Prakriti is the original cause of the cosmos, and emphasizes that material nature cannot exist independently of Brahman. So this assertion reinforces Brahman's role as the ultimate cause of all existence, including the material world. So there has to be the source. Okay, and the source, the Brahman or the supreme person. No? And so everything emanates from him. So this all material world, which is being called as Prakriti, and which is also the basis of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. No? So the Prakriti or Jagat, so that has been important, and which emanates and further manifested and is the energy of the Lord himself. Okay, so what is the objection and anticipation and further conclusion? So as we have just now discussed, no? The sutra prepares for an anticipated objection regarding the relationship between the pradhana feature of goodness and the Anandamaya person, indicating that further clarification will follow in the subsequent sutras. So it is in conclusion, it asserts that the personality of Brahman and the individual conscious living entity, so they are distinct as per the Vedic literature. And this distinction emphasizes that while liberated beings may share qualities with Brahman, they remain separate entities. And this reinforces the philosophy of, just now Prabhuji said, simultaneous inconceivable oneness and difference. So this particular understanding critiques materialist view and affirms that Brahman is the ultimate source of all existence. So the supreme person within acts as witness, is the permitter, is the guide, is the maintainer, is the mentor, and observes all our thoughts, our desires, and actions of jivas. And here we can see. Okay. So jiva is controlled by the supreme person. So one, even though we say I'm doing this, I can achieve this. Okay, but after all, there is someone above, and who is going to control us, and who is controlling, no? And who is the one? Is the Anandamay person. No? So just now we have seen Anandamayo Bhyasat. So devotional service is so blissful. Huh? So we do get the happiness. And so such a person is the full of bliss. Huh? Maya that means is the full of bliss. Huh? So Ananda. So the Anandamay person cannot be a product of the mode of material goodness. How come such a particular huge source, the full of bliss, can be the product of this Prakriti or its gunas? Because the mode of goodness is insentient and desireless. है ना? So because it is the mode, so it is desireless. Whereas the Anandamay person is filled with desires. Okay, so this particular quality or feature or attribute, if you see, है ना? So mode of goodness, it is the quality, and this qualities, these are full, we do see in case of a Anandamay person. So what is the distinction between the Brahman and material modes? Okay, so the sutra asserts that Anandamay person, Anandamay person. Okay, so okay, cannot arise from the mode of material goodness, as the mode of goodness insentient and devoid of desires. So in contrast, Anandamay person is characterized by an abundance of desires, indicating sentience and vitality. Okay, so here it is being clearly mentioned. Okay, so what about the desire and the creation? Okay, so Lord within us governs our intelligence, our memory, our forgetfulness, है ना? Universal order. As per Srimad Bhagavad Gita, from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So how come such a person, the Lord, can be okay in connect with this material modes of nature? Okay, so this a Lord in Paramatma Swarup inspires the jiva, inspires the soul, gives the opportunities as per our karmas, and directs this cosmic administration, and accompanies the soul in every birth, na? Birth after birth. So Lord's presence within every jiva, na, reveals his boundless compassion in whatever form the jiva exists. Okay, so Lord also exists in Paramatma Swarup. See how Lord is compassionate. Okay, and such a compassionate form of Lord, how he can come under, okay, these three modes of nature, or especially the material goodness. No, so it is not possible. So as per Shastric illustration, okay, so the commentary cites the Taittiriya Upanishad. It illustrates that the personality of Brahman expressed a desire to create. Let me become many. Let me father many living entities. Okay, so this assertion highlights that creation stems from Brahman's desires, reinforcing his active sentient nature. Okay, so what does it mean? Here it has been said, it has been mentioned that there is desire of creation. No? So the one who controls, the one who maintains, the one who creates is the supreme personality, no? The personality of Brahman, and who fathers every living entity, whatever is the form of jiva. Okay, whatever the scenes one has followed in their lives, in whatever form of life, but still Lord is there in Paramatma Swarup, and that Paramatma Swarup is nothing but the Brahman. Okay, and the Brahmanness, okay, the infinite qualities one can achieve with the blessings of Lord if one is faithful. So, what is the nature of goodness? The mode of goodness is described as lifeless, insentient, underscoring its limitations compared to the vibrant qualities of Brahman. So, while qualities associated with goodness like non-violence and charity are commendable, they are considered preliminary and insufficient for attaining the ultimate realization of Brahman. Okay, so this particular sutra, the spiritual qualities, this sutra states that qualities such as personality, cognition, desire, creativity, no, they are inherent to the Jivatman and they point to its spiritual nature. Okay, so these qualities are distinguished from material attributes which are inert and mechanical, underscoring the spiritual essence of both the individual and Brahman. So we do see about the creation this particular point. Okay, so there are scientists who has mentioned Big Bang theory. No? So there was a huge blast for this creation, and there is something very productive, very nice product we could get. There are planets, there are jivas. How come it is possible? Okay, so something from destruction, something very good like in a particular order. Okay, how come it can be obtained? So behind that is the desire of Lord. No? So that's why so this what we see, these lives, they are so beautiful. Okay, the creatures, they are so beautiful. Okay, and they do have the small attributes and qualities of Lord, just like Raksha Mataji said ki yes, we do feel to enjoy, but we cannot enjoy fullest like the Lord, no? So we are the tiny things, no? So from this we can um, consider that Lord is present everywhere, because all this material energies is expansion, yet he remains beyond everything. No? So this is called as immanence. Okay, is being within all, and transcendence means remains above all. No? So this Lord enters the universe in the form of every atom. No? Yet his spiritual abode and divine personality remain untouched. See, um, okay, just as the sun spreads light everywhere while remaining in one place, the Supreme Lord pervades all existence through his energies while eternally existing in his transcendental form. Okay, so here Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan establishes that the supreme within us in Paramatma Swarup, every jiva has, is personal, is conscious, is full of qualities, and possesses a Paramatma Swarup spiritual form. No? So and rejects the impersonal interpretations. Okay, because Lord reciprocates with our prayers, responds in our devotional service, gives us the realization, and accepts our loving service. Okay, so these are the um, okay, the points. The qualities of Brahman here, as it is said. Okay, so Brahman is the source of all Jivatmans and possesses these spiritual qualities in unlimited abundance, unlimited, है ना? Suggests that while individual Jivatman exhibit these qualities, so Brahman embodies them to an infinite degree, further distinguishing him from the material world. Okay, so it is so many infinite universes are there. No? So um, you see, and Jivatma, okay, what is the circumference and area of work Jivatma can have? No? So we do have what we can see of limitation. In a finite degree, we can do those things, whatever we are doing in our lives. So there is no abundance, but what we can see is there is unlimited abundance. No? Okay, in case of Jivatma, limited abundance, and in case of Brahman, it is unlimited, infinite, fathomless. है ना? So the preliminary activities it has been which are there, which are going to support in this devotional path. These are the qualities of goodness, na? And such activities are viewed as necessary but not sufficient for self-realization. What a charity, dan dharma, etc. we are doing, that is not enough. And this perspective encourages a deeper understanding of spiritual practice beyond mere adherence to moral and ethical conduct. So what is required is the loving service. So we have to learn in this devotional service on this path so as to achieve and so as to get the love of Godhead, the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, here in case of the rejection of materialism, no, so the sutra critiques the notion that performing pious activities within the material realm can lead to the highest spiritual destination. It emphasizes the transcendental nature of Brahman, who exceeds beyond all material qualities, including goodness. So, devotional path is something greater than this. And what is the conclusion? That the Anandmay person cannot be a product of such a mere mode of material goodness due to inherent differences in sentience and desire. While qualities associated with goodness are important, they are merely preliminary steps towards realizing the transcendental nature of Brahman, who embodies spiritual qualities in their fullest, most vibrant form. Okay, so Lord resides in Paramatma Swarup. So, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that I am seated in everyone's heart. Okay, so obviously, sort of enjoyment we can get because Lord is sitting there, na? And it is in his embodied form. Okay, so Lord resides as witness, that is called as Upadrashta, is the permitter, that is Anumanta, and maintainer, that is Bharta. And yes, who is the guide for all of us? Okay. You know, many times yogis they do meditate on Paramatma Swarup because he's seated in the heart. Okay. So they do meditate on the effulgent form, the peaceful form, and situated on the lotus of the heart. Where Baldev Vidyabhushan says that the devotion that is bhakti, it surpasses just mere meditation because devotion leads to intimate loving realization of Bhagavan. Okay, if one wants to be Anand, like to get on this devotion path, the loving exchanges with the Lord. No? So we can understand that Lord in our Paramatma Swarup never abandons the jiva through birth, death, suffering, joy, if one is wandering through species to species. No? The Lord remains beside the soul. This reveals the divine compassion, no? Patience. See, Lord is waiting since so many births that when this jiva will be back to Godhead. No? So it's so merciful, so patient, and there is eternal companionship. So even when the soul forgets the Lord, Lord never forget the soul. Okay, so it is very important. Okay, so Anandamay person cannot be manifested from, yes, now it is clear, I think. So Anandamay person cannot be manifested from Pradhan mode of material goodness because the Vedic scriptures teach that contact with the Anandamay person brings fearlessness to the individual conscious Jivatman. So fearlessness from Anandmay person. So there is one story mentioned at the end also of Nachiketa. If time permits, we can have that. Okay, so fearlessness from Anandmay person. So okay, so the sutra says that the contact with Anandmay person, if one is connected with the devotees, with the Lord, with his disciples, no? It brings fearlessness to the individual conscious Jivatman. And this highlights the protective and liberative nature of Brahman, distinguishing him from other entities. Okay, so Anandmay person can become fearlessness. Okay, so there are we see in case of Upanishad, no? Shri Ishopanishad also we see Bha stands for Bhaya. So Anandmay person is fearless. No? And this commentary cites the Taittiriya Upanishad. What are Vedic teachings on fear? The Taittiriya Upanishad stating that true fearlessness is attained when one finds repose in Anandmay person, described as invisible, incorporeal, and undefined. This indicates that a deep spiritual connection is necessary to overcome the fears associated with material existence. Okay, so Jiva is there. Okay, so there is the bhaya. Na? So uh, we do get the fear of whether I can maintain this property, whether I can have good health, whether my family can sustain better. Okay, so such a fear is there, but a fearless person who's free from this fears. Okay, so the consequences of separation. If you see what happens if one goes away, separates from Anandamay person, है ना? So Maya, underscoring the dependence on Brahman for security and peace. If one wants security, safety, and peace, okay, one should connect with Anandmay person, Brahman. And this separation leads to a state of fear and confusion if one goes away. Ah, so fearful one can become, one get confused, one will remain in illusion. As we do see, there is a tendency of Jiva, one who forgets, suffers, is conditioned, makes mistakes, remains limited and fearful. Okay, so if we are devoid of this thing, so one should go to the one who has got this quality, and who has got this quality is the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So material nature and fear. So this commentary contrasts the nature of the material world with that of Brahman, asserting that material nature does not provide fearlessness. Rather, it breeds fear. This distinction reinforces the idea that Anandamay person cannot be equated. He is personified. है So this cannot be equated with the material modes, including the mode of goodness. So if one wants to become fearless, okay, so one should get connected, plug ourselves with the Lord and his devotees. So one can go away from illusion and one can identify as that one is the servant of the Lord and his duties. So fear is described as arising from misidentification and absorption in the material world, which is characterized as an illusory energy that is Maya. So we are all kept in Maya under illusion. So that's why we misidentify. I'm this body and I'm supposed to enjoy. Okay. Here in this platform in ISKCON, in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, okay, we got to learn that we are not body, we are the soul. It is the teaching of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And this text suggests that a true understanding of one's identity as a servant of the Lord is essential for overcoming fear. So he is our boss. No? Lord is our boss because he is Bhagwan. Okay? Because his omniscience. Because his all pervasiveness. Because of his sinlessness. Because of his independence. Because of his universal leadership. Okay? So Dasanudas bhav, no? We have to have. He's the controller. He's the maintainer. No? He's all pervasive. So what devotional practice suggests that? This commentary encourages engaging in unalloyed devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, which leads to fearlessness. So we have to seek the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. And this practice is presented as a pathway to attaining a secure relationship with Brahman, the source of ultimate peace. Since so many lives we're waiting, we're wondering this form, that form. Okay, but in this life, we have got the shelter of our Guru Maharaj. So one should be so happy. We are on this platform, we are learning. Okay, it is such a small span of life we have got. Okay, so this we should spend so methodically, so logically, so as to serve on this particular devotional path. So this sutra, we have done so many things in other lives also. We have ate so much of food. Okay, we are trying to enjoy. But this life is not for enjoyment. It's for devotion service. And this sutra concludes that Anandamay person is indeed the personality of Brahma. Hari. So hurry up. And not the individual living entity of material nature. So this clarifies the unique and transcendent nature of Brahman as the ultimate refuge from fear. So if one wants to become nirbhaya, so not to give shelter to bhaya, so one should connect with the Lord and serve him. So this Sutra 19 asserts that the Anandamay person cannot be derived from such a mere pradhan mode of material goodness, as the only contact with Brahman can bring about fearlessness in individuals. So these Vedic teachings highlight the importance of a spiritual connection with Brahman for overcoming the fears associated with material existence, further distinguishing Brahman from both individual conscious entities and the material world. So is it clear? Material world, Jagat, Brahman, okay, in different expansions like Paramatma and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and yes, who's the Jiva? So based on qualities and consciousness, okay, and depending on the mode of material nature under whose control is Jiva. Okay, so here in this Adhikarna Sutra 7, in Adhikarna 7, Sutra number 20th. So here we'll see the personal nature of the universe.
Mataji, you can have a 2-3 minutes break also.
Break. Okay.
There is enough time.
Yes, yes. Yes, any points? Raksha Mataji, Radha Prabhuji, Prasad
Yeah, Mother.
Prabhuji.
I'm just still trying to understand 1.1.9. Just now we completed. It said Pradhana mode of material goodness. Pradhana we understand is unmanifested, manifested remaining in the in the spiritual world. But that sentence I'm still contemplating. Pradhan mode of material goodness. So Pradhan cannot be mode of material goodness, because Pradhan is a totally spiritual. We saw that. What is that connection? I don't get that. Maybe at the end we'll see, Mataji. We'll see at the end.
Yeah. Sharat Prabhuji can tell us the Pradhana mode of material goodness. Is the important?
We'll see at the end, Mataji. We'll see at the end.
Like we say Pradhanya, like Pradhan.
Pradhan is a different. It's not a Pradhanya. It's a Pradhan or Pradhan.
Pradhan.
Pradhan, we understand it's unmanifested, material world is created from Pradhan, right? Then Pradhan becomes Mahatattva. So connect with that, because we are trying to look at the creation, and the essence here is that the Brahman is a source, right? Everything is coming, and Jiva and Paramatma, or that is the comparison here, all through that we are doing. So why Pradhana mode of goodness, material goodness? Also, they are thinking that line that I don't get it. We'll see at the end.
No, you see, what actually is Pradhana?
Yeah, Pradhana is a unmanifested unmanifested material. You look at the source of the material world, right? Unmanifested, but it's unmanifested. It is totally spiritual, and we also saw that it is not influenced by three modes of material nature: Satguna, Rajoguna, Tanoguna. It doesn't impact that.
It is unmanifest.
Yeah.
The whole material world, everything, it merges into the
Pradhana.
Supreme Lord, and there is no differentiation there. You cannot make out which is ego, which is any
Correct.
matter, anything. That means it is material only. It is material only, and when it merges into the Supreme Lord who is transcendental. Actually, these things are connected, like what we are talking with our material body, we are pursuing for the to get the spiritual world. Like this whole complete matter that is in the form of pradhana. That's why it is material. You can say it is material also and spiritual also. Why? Because material, because the contents are material. But spiritual, in case it is not spiritual, then it cannot be in that state. It will be in the material state only. That means it is material only. And then we are talking of the material mode of goodness.
Okay.
प्रभु जी, प्रधाना जो अनमेनिफेस्टेड फॉर्म है, जब भगवान के कांटेक्ट में भगवान ने जब एक ग्लांस किया तब वो महत्त्व बन गए, ऐसा समझ सकते हैं प्रभु जी?
Yes, yes. When the glance of the Supreme Lord is on Pradhana, that it starts reacting. Then the time also starts from that time. Time does not start before that. And then in the unmanifest stage, then various activities that take place. And before that, there was no activity. It was lying still, and it is undifferentiated. Whatever, like so many things from this material world, they were mixed together and they were in that particular place, but one cannot make out which is what. That is the
Prabhuji,
unmanifest state.
yeah, Prabhuji, since we are stopped here, I'll take 5 seconds. Pradhana and Mahatattva, as we say, Mataji is talking about Mahatattva, it is in material modes, Satguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, because whatever it does. But Pradhana is not at all in a material mode, because just now we saw that Pradhana is not under the influence of three modes of material. So it is trying to differentiate. Why we are trying to do that? Because mundane people think that Brahma, Mahatattva is the source of everything, but they don't see that Pradhana is the source of everything, because Pradhana is with Ishwar, Mahatattva is for material. I think that is the essence will be carried out here throughout this particular discussion. We'll talk, Prabhuji, at the end.
Okay, we'll have a discussion with Charu Prabhuji also.
Mataji, for fearlessness, wonderful shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes.
Apanam samsrutim ghoram yannam vivasho grunana tad satyo vimuchet tad vibheti स्वयं भयम. जो भय है वो स्वयं भगवान से डरते हैं. So wonderful.
Yes. Shall I begin, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Yes. The personal nature of the universe. The text begins by emphasizing that Vedic conception of the universe is inherently personal, intelligent, living, and it contrasts with mechanistic and materialistic worldviews. No? So this perspective holds that creation, maintenance, and destruction are driven by a conscious personal force rather than just random and impersonal mechanisms. No? Okay, so this creation, there is a huge thought and desire behind it. No? So जब हम घर बनाते हैं, सजाते हैं, है ना? So there are so many ideas, है ना? So there is so much of energy it is being put into. Okay, and microbiology also we do teach biosynthesis, है ना? Energy is required. So much of ATPs they are utilized. Okay, and so creating, see, this particular creation, it requires a personal force, and it is not something random and which is just coming out and it is happening, na? So because there is a lot of information here, and information, it will not come out like that. Just we do see the alphabets. If these are kept in spreadsheet like that, anyways, it will be meaningless. But if those alphabets that are put in proper words, in sentences, in paragraphs, in pages, that becomes a book, like Sri Govinda Bhashya. Huh? So likewise, because there is so much of information available, and so it is such a huge job that is being done, and that is the nature of the universe. Na? So, what is the role of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is identified as the source of all creation. So, within Brahma Jyoti, spiritual radiance serving as an extension of his divine form. The analogy of the sun is used to illustrate this relationship. Just as sunlight emanates from the sun, the universe and all living entities derive their existence and vitality from the Supreme Being. So, this Brahma Jyoti, as we see, that is liberation, isn't it? So, according to Shri Govinda Bhashya, so liberation is achieved or attained through knowledge that is supported by devotion, surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and with the grace of Lord. So, the realization of the Supreme Person within purifies the heart and destroys ignorance, illuminates us. But ultimate perfection is not just understanding that Lord is residing within our heart in Paramatma Swarup. But here Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan suggests us that perfection is loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Thus, bhakti is the highest means and the highest goal. So, uh, we so we are not getting what we are having, and what our acharya are giving us. Okay, so it is such a intelligence, and this intelligence, it will only come from the Lord himself, you know. So otherwise we would have been wandering birth after birth again like that only. Okay, so in this life we could get this meaning that bhakti is the highest mean, and the highest, it has to be the highest goal of life. Hmm? So what is Vedic support for this? Srimad Bhagavatam, and Rigved validate its claims, pointing to the divine nature of the universe and the Supreme Lord's role within it. So what role Lord is playing, what Lord is doing. So this reliance on authoritative task on this particular text, which are considered here, underscores the theological basis for the assertions made about the nature of the Supreme Being and the universe. Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva, simultaneous inconceivable oneness and difference. The Jiva is one with the Lord in spiritual quality and different from the Lord in quantity and power. So, what about the illusion and perception? Okay, so this commentary discusses how the material world appears as a series of illusions to those lacking transcendental knowledge. So this Prakriti, the material nature, is an illusory energy causing even insentient matter to move as if it were alive. So this theme emphasizes the need for enlightened perception to understand the true nature of reality beyond superficial appearances. So just go on the physical nature and the state of this material world. So there is tremendous energy, and this energy emanates just like the sun emanates sun rays, sunlight. No? So the sun rays and sunlight, because of which we are sustaining our lives, no? From where they do arise? From the sun. And this universe and all living entities, they derive their existence and vitality from the Supreme Being. All the jiva and the soul, what they do exist, they are from the Supreme Being. And so it all harmonizes the unity, diversity, personalism, and divine omnipresence. We can see the Lord is eternal, never born, never destroyed. Okay, but Prakriti, it changes. No? So knows all our thoughts and actions. Omniscient Lord is personal, reciprocates with knowledge and qualities. No? Lord with us is compassionate, guides us all the time, and present within, and is still supreme. So devotion in our life reveals that the Lord is the supreme personality of Godhead and the source of liberation. Realization about Him will will relieve us from the karmic cycles and bondage. And so here Lord is the source, like the sun, and his energies are controlling. Na? Even that energy, it is the Prakriti, na? This particular material world. So here is the connection of Ayurveda. It has been mentioned. This text refers to Ayurveda, acknowledging the supreme person's supremacy in the realm of health and life, which reaffirms the holistic view of the universe as interconnected and divinely orchestrated. So, this reference aligns the understanding of spirituality with practical aspects of life, suggesting that health also has a spiritual foundation. No? So, proper health, what we are getting, that is also because of this interconnectedness with this divine personality, and it has been orchestrated by him with his grace. No, it is possible. So doubt and misunderstanding. So this particular passage anticipates doubts regarding, there is so much to discuss on this passage anticipates doubts regarding the identity of the golden person within the sun, exploring whether he is an individual conscious being or personality of Brahman. So, this highlights the complexity of spiritual understanding and the potential for misinterpretation regarding divine forms and identities. No? Doubt and misunderstanding. Okay, so we do possess so many doubts. No? Okay, so here one should not get confused and one should clear with the thoughts and in align with what it has been told by our acharyas. So antithesis and confusion, conclusion, here it is. This text presents the antithesis, that is Purva Paksha, that questions whether the golden person is a pious Jivatman or all-pervading superconscious being. So this dialogue format introduces a critical examination of views, paving the way for the subsequent Siddhanta Vedic conclusion that will clarify these distinctions. Okay, so so this particular sutra, 20th sutra, it is, that is Antasadharmopadeshat. He is the supreme controller. Okay, there is purity, omniscience, independence. These are the qualities with Paramatma. That self-effulgent, all-knowing, transcendental, controller, source of all auspicious qualities, while a jiva is limited, dependent, under illusion, and atomic in size. Na? So this particular uh, characteristics, as we will see also in detail. So the person within, that is sun and the eye, is the personality of Brahman. Na? Because the Vedic literatures explain that his nature fits the description of Brahman. Na? So identity of the person within. So the sutra asserts that the person within the sun and the eye is the personality of Brahman, not an individual conscious living entity. So this distinction is crucial for understanding the nature of divinity in contrast to individual soul. So what is Vedic validation for this? Is Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahman is free from karma and material contamination, sinless, na? Possesses all divine qualities, and further differentiates him from individual souls who are subject to the laws of karma. The qualities of Brahman, Brahman is portrayed as the absolute truth, characterized by full of knowledge and absence of rival. So this aligns with traditional descriptions of divinity in Vedic text. So this commentary highlights that individual conscious entities do not fulfill the same roles as Brahman, such as being the ultimate object of worship or the grantor of desires. So jivas are jivas, na? So those cannot become Brahman. Or yes, the addressing impersonalist objections. The sutra anticipates objections from impersonalists who might argue that the described person must be an individual conscious entity due to the mention of a body. The response emphasizes that the personality of Brahman has a transcendental body distinct from ordinary material forms as supported by Vedic literature. So, um, just now, before 5 minutes back, I told, okay, so yogis also they do meditate on whom? The form of Lord. No? So here one can understand the Lord has got the form, is in person, no? But has got the transcendental body. So what this transcendental body is, it refers to the Purusha Sukta and Shvetashvatara Upanishad and illustrate that Brahman's form transcends material conception, making it fundamentally different from that of living entities. So this concept of a transcendental body emphasizes that Brahman is just beyond the limitations of material existence. About knowledge and deliberation. So the sutra, it concludes that understanding the Supreme Person is essential for liberation, and that knowledge of Brahman is superior to any other truth. So the necessity of devotional service for realizing Brahman is underscored, highlighting that an atheistic attitude obstructs true understanding. So what is the devotional insight here? As per Kathopanishad, it says that only those engaged in devotional service can perceive the Supreme Lord as he truly is. So this theme connects understanding of Brahman to practical spiritual engagement, suggesting that knowledge without devotion is inadequate. And who will give us knowledge? The one who has got. Who can give us knowledge? The one who has got the intellect. And who is intelligent? The Lord. Huh? So obviously one should surrender to the Lord. No? So one should be faithful with the Lord. So this particular sutra establishes that the person within the sun and the eye is the personality of Brahman, characterized by sinlessness and divine qualities. So this sutra addresses common misconceptions about divine identity and stresses the importance of understanding Brahman's transcendental form and nature through Vedic texts. So the necessity of devotional service for true insight into Brahman is also highlighted, reinforcing the relationship between knowledge and spiritual practice. Okay, so it was about Antastad Dharmopadeshat. So next we'll see about the 21 sutra, 21st sutra, that is Veda Vyapadeshat. Veda. Ved means difference. Okay, so how the personality of Brahman is different from the individual conscious living entity, because this doctrine is taught to all Vedic literatures. In all Vedic literatures, it has been mentioned. So distinct identity of the Supreme Personality. The basic difference, Jiva. Jiva is finite, Jiva is dependent, Jiva is easily controlled. Okay, so one can easily control any ant or like, okay, so the plants, one can root out these plants or trees or etc. So, but the Lord, the Supreme Personality, is infinite. So many universes they are residing. Okay, so there is material world, there is spiritual world. 3/4 portion is the spiritual world. This is infinite. Countless universes are there. Is the supreme. Okay, He's labeled as the supreme, is worshipable. One can worship, and is the controller. Is not controlled, but his controller. So if you want to control, if one wants to control, so the Lord is controlled by his devotees, you know? So because Lord loves his devotees. Okay, so support from Vedic literature. This commentary cites the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad to affirm the identity of this golden person within the sun as the personality of Brahman, not the solar deity or individual soul. So this use of authoritative text strengthens the argument by grounding it in Vedic authority. Okay, what is the nature of the golden person? This golden person is characterized as the super conscious living entity present within every atom. Lord is there in every atom. So he is there in electrons, he is in protons, he is there in neutrons. So it highlights there are bonds which are created. So there lies the Lord. So highlighting the Brahman's omnipresence and transcendental nature. So how one controls? Even if you see boss in our office tries to control but cannot detail much. You know? So he delegates these responsibilities and authorities among the several ones on the several tables. Okay, but here we do see Lord, he's there everywhere. So this contrasts with individual living entities who identify with their material forms and roles. Just now we had Shri Narsingha Chaturdashi festival, no? Prahlad Maharaj. He was asked by his father, Hiranyakashipu, where is your Lord residing? Is he there in this pillar? Yes, he said, he's there in pillar also. Okay. So what the others can't see, the devotee can see. No? So the devotee understands this. Okay, so what is the power of Lord? No? What is the potential of Lord? So what is required for this is the perception and vision. Okay, so this commentary notes that ordinary living beings cannot perceive Brahman due to their material vision being overwhelmed by the sun's radiance. Okay, so in too much light we cannot see. Okay, even we do go outside, if it has been quite sunny day, we have to put sunglasses so that we can see better. So this metaphor illustrates that the challenges of spiritual understanding and the need for transcendental perception to recognize the divine. So you'll not be able to recognize the divine, so much of radiance. No, it is not possible. Okay, so for that one needs the vision. So this vision, it has been bestowed with the mercy of Lord and his devotees, our Acharya has said. Okay, so what's the role of devotional service? So it emphasizes that only through devotional service can one truly see and understand the Supreme Lord. So this highlights the importance of a spiritual practice that involves surrender and devotion to realize the true nature of Brahman. Surrender and devotion, the two keywords, if one wants to understand it. So the faith will open the doors in this bhakti path. Okay? So the faith should be strong. So someone else is going to shake you on your faith. No, be aware of it. Okay, so prayers to Lord Aniruddha. Aniruddha is is the expansion of Lord. No? And Lord Shiva also prays to Lord Aniruddha, emphasizing the connection between divine consciousness and the mind. So the mention of engaging the mind in devotional service illustrates the active role of a practitioner in realizing the divine. About mind control, so that's been very important. How mind can be controlled? Okay, if one is going to remain in meditation, in remembrance with the Lord. So sun god as an expansion of Brahman. The commentary explains that the sun god is an expansion of Lord Aniruddha ji. It links the physical sun to the spiritual reality of Brahman. So this connection reinforces the idea of divine control over the material elements. So these are the different departments, and the importance of recognizing the spiritual source behind physical phenomena. Even I'm picking this glass, some energy is used. I'm blinking my eyes, the energy is used. So how come it is without will and energy it is going to happen? No? So spiritual cleansing. The sun god is portrayed as purifying and maintaining clarity of mind, which is essential for spiritual elevation. So this metaphor indicates the transformative power of divine presence, helping individuals transcend material limitations. So this particular Sutra 21 establishes that the personality of Brahman is fundamentally different from individual conscious entities, a distinction supported by Vedic scriptures. So this commentary elaborates on the identity of the golden person within the sun, emphasizing the need for spiritual vision to perceive Brahman. So it highlights the importance of devotional service in realizing the supreme and connects the physical embodiment of the sun to the spiritual essence of Brahman, portraying the sun god as a purifying force in the spiritual journey. Okay, so here one can see that how is the Brahman, just like here Aniruddhaji's example and sun god, it has been mentioned. Okay, so uh, if one see the graphs, graphs like uh, in okay, okay, the Lord who is full of energy. Okay, so that will be disseminated. Okay, and it can be taken up. Okay, for further survival also. Okay, and in this particular spiritual journey, one should understand from where I'm getting this. One should be thankful to this particular support, what we have got, what are resources we have got, what are the vision we have got. So one should be humble in receiving it. Uh, so one should be caretaker of this material world and this material energy. So the central theme across this all, 17 to 21, the common denominator and the interconnectedness of the sutras. So focuses on the identity of Supreme Personality of Godhead, particularly in relation to the golden person within the sun and distinction from individual conscious entities. The common denominator is the exploration of the transcendental nature of Brahman, transcendence of Brahman, supported by Vedic authority, supported by Vedic authority. The symbolism of the golden person within sun serves as a powerful metaphor for inner illumination in modern spirituality, highlighting the soul's potential for enlightenment and self-realization. Okay, so this particular imagery invites us to reflect on the light of divine wisdom that guides us through complexities of contemporary life, encouraging personal growth and deeper understanding of our place within the cosmos. We have made our life so complex, so that is not required. So life is so easy. Get the shelter of such authorities under which, under whom we can sustain our lives better on this devotional path. Okay. So this particular Sutra 17 emphasizes the distinction between Brahman and individual souls, introducing the concept of the golden person within the sun. Okay, so it sets the stage for understanding Brahman's omnipresence and transcendental qualities. Okay. So it discusses the limitations of material perception and the need for transcendental insight to recognize the divine within the material world. To transcend this sensory limitation, the concept of Shastra Chakshu. Prabhuji, His Grace Charu Prabhuji always says that one needs to have the Shastra Chakshu, or seeing through the eyes of scripture can be introduced. So Shastra Chakshu, going through Shastras, implementing the Shastras in our lives, provides a framework for perceiving the world beyond what is visible to the senses. So our senses, they are so limited. What information they will give you, what intelligence and intellect they will give you. Just let us go beyond. Okay. Let us have the shelter of Vedic wisdom to attain this deeper understanding of what is real and what is spiritual. Just beyond real is spiritual. है ना? So this theme connects with the overarching discourse on the nature of reality. है ना? So the last slide we can have is about the Sutra 19, 20, and 21st. In a nutshell, how they are interconnected, it is being said. In the ancient tale from the Kathopanishad, a young boy named Nachiketas demonstrated the essence of fearlessness. When faced with Yamadeva, no, the god of death personified, remains unfazed, seeking wisdom rather than succumbing to fear. So this story beautifully encapsulates the quality of fearlessness, a characteristic inherent in the golden person, which is absent in material existence. So by embodying such unwavering courage, the golden person represents an ideal that transcends the limitations of the physical world. I think His Grace Sharad Prabhuji can explain this story much better. Of Nachiketa. Nachiketa had father Vajashrava, and he was such a miser. And in the yagya offering, he just offered the cows, है ना, which were donated. Those were old and weak, and because of such a yajna shruti, a child Nachiketa, na, he did not like, and he asked his father, na, so how I should serve, na? How I can give up is here that I will give you to Yamdevji. Na? So he immediately goes without wasting the time to Yamdevji, and Yamdevji was not there in his chair. Okay, and Yamdevji waits that somebody is still there and waiting for me, and he thought he will leave off. When he arrives, he offers him the gifts, so nice gifts. But Nachiketa says that you tell me what is this material world is and who is the one supreme. Na? So here's the distinction and observing his fearlessness. Na? So Yamdevji becomes so happy and narrates all the story what is this material world is and what are jivas and how is the supreme controls it. Na? So it is such a nice story. We can hear from Sharad Prabhuji also. So 20th Sutra, it identifies the golden person as the personality of Brahman, contrasting him with individual conscious entities. It establishes the clear distinction supported by Vedic text. है ना? So here we have learned that within the heart, the Lord resides as Paramatma Swarup, serene and ever bright, guiding every wandering soul with wisdom, love, and light. No? Lord enlightens us. His devotees, our Acharyas, Guru Maharaj, enlighten us. The jivas are small, the Lord is supreme. The Vedas says gently to us. No? The Vedas gently say, through bhakti and surrender, true, through bhakti and surrender, true, the soul finds its eternal way. So here, this 21st verse solidifies the distinction between what the Brahman is, what are the individual entities, what our Vedic teachings say us, what are the differences, and how one should rely on this Vedic scriptures as per our Vedic authority. Okay, what is the own source? One can understand, and okay, so this theological study it will help us to navigate on this particular path and can reinforce the spiritual framework for understanding the divine identity by exploring these personal sources. In a nutshell, one should engage in deeper dialogue that aligns with the pursuit of spiritual insights through scriptural study and concludes the analysis of reinforcing the spiritual framework for understanding the divine identity. Okay, so it was our journey today from Anandamaya Vyasat, we went through what is Achint Veda Tattva, which is our very favorite one, the basis. A lot can be discussed on this. That is Veda Vyapadeshacha. That was in a then is Kamash Janananu Mapaka and Asmin Asya Tad Yogam Sasti. Okay, so these are the different sutras, and we have gone through today. So next time we can have lesson 8. I hope it was such a difficult task for me so as to understand from within itself, but there are some gaps also. I do realize I need to clarify this again better, and again try to connect better all these things. So hope in our next session, because it was my first topic I have taken today on Sri Govinda Bhashya. So hope I can fully satisfy the expectation of his great Charu Prabhuji, great Sharad Prabhuji, and all dear devotees. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to serve. Hare Krishna. So if any questions, difficulties, his great Charu Prabhuji and Sharad Prabhuji is there today. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, very good. Very nice class, Mataji. Thank you so much. Very nice. You nicely summarize all the stuffs. Very nice, Mataji. And one thing I stuck to my mind is that when you said that only from the bhakti we can able to understand, that's what Krishna repeatedly says in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhaktyatvam ananyasakya aham evam ido Arjuna, jnatum drashtum cha tattvena pravesham cha parantapa. So from the bhakti only we can understand Krishna as it is, as he is standing before Arjuna. That's what he summarized. In the last slide, I have one question. Is that Brahman is referring to, because soon you say Brahman, I know that one in Prabhupada ji clears this in the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, or many places also. So he is referring to the absolute truth, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some people or other sampradayas are and all misinterpreting this one to the impersonal Brahman aspect of the Lord.
Yes.
So could you please elaborate on this one, Mataji? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think Sharad Prabhuji can answer better on impersonalism. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, what we see impersonalist, है ना? So, they do focus on Nirgun Nirakar Swarup, na? That is the energy of the Lord. And the devotees, they don't want to achieve Brahma Jyoti, na? Because that is the material, that is the energy of the Lord. है ना? So, we want to have connection with the Lord, and so there is Sakar Roop of Lord, है ना? And but this is the body which has been transcendental, just not like the body of a jivas what we are getting is, है ना? So Lord can eat, है ना? With eyes also, with the glance, so that is impossible. So impersonalist, so there are no sevas, na Prabhuji, if one attains Brahma Jyoti or liberation. And for bhakta in devotional service, it is more than liberation. It is devotion we do follow, because we can establish the loving exchanges. We can relish rasas, different rasas like Vatsalya ras and etc. Okay, we can reciprocate. Lord also reciprocates. While as such a bliss, ananda, is not there in liberation. So mukti, or one can become mukta, liberated. Okay, but okay, when one offers the seva, so that is the connection established. If it has been established properly, then one can connect. Sambandha, no? Sambandha is very important, and with whom one can establish sambandha. Okay, so we do have in our sampradaya sambandha details. No? Likewise, we are told to offer sevas to Vigraha, deity worship, etc., so that we can or we'll be able to connect with Lord. No? So there is so much of happiness and joy we are getting. If we don't have sevas, we do feel that we are lacking something. So without sevas we cannot sustain, we cannot live. So sevas, they have become so important part of our lives, and those sevas, they are not there in case of impersonalist. And sevas, they are the means to show to Lord that yes, we love him. So yes, I think it is the most joyful, the highest goal of life it has to be. And very good.
तो
Mataji, you
सुखम कर्तु अव्ययम.
just one second, Mataji, you said one sentence, this Brahman effulgence, that is Brahmajyoti is material. How can it be material? Because
It is energy. It is not material. It is energy.
it is energy. It is what it is. It is actually the effulgence of the Supreme Lord. Anything
Yes,
comes out of the Supreme Lord cannot be material in nature.
yes, Prabhuji.
That is
It
also spiritual.
Yes.
Is that we need to understand that contextually we need to derive the meaning of that one, whether it is referring to the impersonal Brahman or it is referring to the absolute truth, Prabhu?
The absolute truth, the Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, they are the same. Only what is there in the Upanishads, instead of Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead or any name, this is Brahman, that is what is used everywhere.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay. Thank you.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. Thank you, Pramata ji. So wonderful class. Thank you so much. Dhanvat
Thank you,
pranam,
Mata.
Mataji.
Hare
Everybody,
Krishna, Nityashree Mataji. Wonderful session. Yeah. You should.
everybody knows the story of Nachiketa.
Prabhuji, tell us
Yes,
now.
yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, please tell us.
Please tell us, Prabhu. Please tell us.
This I read about not less than 40 to 50 years back. This is the Kathopanishad. What happens? There was a great sage at that time. His name was Vajasravas. Now, once he decided to perform a great sacrifice and give away in charity everything he had. And he had a son, Nachiketa, who was still a small little boy, but he was extremely intelligent, and his mind was pure. His heart was totally pure. But he observed that his father was giving away lean and weak cows that were unable to give milk. He thought, my father is not doing the right thing by giving the old cows in charity. Then Nachiketa, what he did, he went and asked his father, I have heard that the kind of yajna that you are performing, one has to give up all one possesses. And his father did not reply to that question. And after some time, Nachiketa again asked the same question. Again, he did not answer. He did not get any response from his father. Then, for the third time, Nachiketa repeated the same question. Then his father could not control his anger, and he said, I hereby give you to Yamaraj, the god of death. Now, hearing this, Nachiketa, he followed the words of his father and went to the kingdom of death, that is Yamaraja's kingdom. However, at that time, Yamaraja was not present and he was not admitted into the kingdom of Yamaraja. So he waited there in the gate for 3 days and 3 nights without taking even a drop of water. Then when Yamaraj came back, he found Nachiketa at his doorstep. He felt very sad and for keeping a Brahmana waiting for 3 days and 3 nights. Then he ordered his attendants to fetch holy water to invite and welcome Nachiketa. And after the hospitality and offered to Nachiketa, Yamaraj told Nachiketa, my dear child, I have not done good by keeping you waiting here for 3 days and 3 nights. So I request you to ask for 3 boons. Now, Nachiketa answered to Yamaraj saying that the first boon, he said, let my father not be anxious about me and let his anger subside and vanish when I go back to the earth, and let him recognize me and receive me very gladly. Then Yamaraj said, it is granted. He asked for the second boon. Now, the second boon he asked for, he told him, please teach me the proper ritual for the fire sacrifice with which I can go to the heavenly planets. And the Yamaraj agreed and taught the Chiketa the proper ritual for the fire sacrifice. Then thereafter, he asked Nachiketa, what is your third boon? Now, Nachiketa then said, is there indeed a life beyond death? Some say there is, some say it is not there, but what is the truth? Now Yamaraj said, do not ask me matters about life and death, because even the demigods, they are not clear about all these points. Ask me something else, I will grant you your wishes other than this. Now Nachiketa, because he was very, very intelligent, he persisted and said, I only wish to know about the mysteries of life and death and nothing else. Now Yamaraja tried to entice him by giving so many worldly pleasures, but Nachiketa knew that these pleasures are short-lived. Nachiketa was bold enough to say that one can never reach the eternal through the worldly possessions. Therefore, he has renounced all desires for material pleasures and have come here with the hope of winning the eternal through the instructions of the god of death. It was very difficult for Yamaraj to change the mind of young Nachiketa. So finally, he agreed to tell Nachiketa about the mysteries of life and death. And basically, time is there, I'll spend some more time. He says the self is immortal. It was never born and it never dies. It did not come out of anything. Neither did it anything to come out of it. And even this body is destroyed, the soul is not destroyed. Then the second thing he told, one who thinks that he is the slayer and one who thinks that he is slain, both are ignorant. Then he said, the smaller than the smallest and larger than the largest, the self is living in all beings, that is the soul. And the knowledge about it can neither be obtained by discussion, nor by brain power, not by much learning. It reveals itself to the deserving one only. And he said, this body is a chariot, intelligence is the driver, the senses are the horses, conscience is the rein, and the soul is the lord of the chariot. And the self is superior to body, mind, and senses. And greater than the individual soul is the enveloping super consciousness that is enveloping the complete universe. Still greater is the ultimate person whom there is nothing greater. He is the goal of our aspiration. Once that Supreme Self is realized, death loses its terrors, and the one who has realized, he becomes immortal. And the path to realization is long and difficult, and therefore there is no time to be lost. He told him, awake and arise, and do not stop until your goal is reached. In very, very brief, it is given in the Kathopanishad. If you read that, you will hear and know the complete story, the complete arguments, and complete reasoning with which Yamaraj he answered to Nachiketa. This is what is the story. Any other questions, or we can?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful story.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for nice story. So, Prabhuji, we like stories to hear from you.
Prabhu, how it ended? Sorry, we missed that one. How it ended, Prabhu? So, okay. Sorry, if you could repeat the last part, I missed that part.
Yes, Yamaraj, he explained the whole thing about life and death. That is what it is.
Okay, sure.
So it is almost the same as Bhagavad Gita knowledge, right, Prabhu?
Uh-huh.
Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam knowledge only. Bhagavad Gita knowledge.
Yes,
Whatever
Prabhuji.
you
Difference
described.
between the body, soul, and mind.
Yeah.
Yes. Basically, the whole thing, what is actually Bhagavad Gita? It is the essence of the Upanishads only. All the things there in the Gita, also in various verses. that verse you must be remembering. Sarva Upanishada Gavo, Dugdha Gopala Nandana.
Sarva Upanishado Gavo, Dugdha Gopalanandana. Something missing.
Yes. Partha Sudhir, what is that? I am forgetting. But basically, it is this is what is the thing. Okay, then we'll, since there is time, we can talk something about what Radha Vinod Prabhuji was saying. How can the Pradhana be in the mode of goodness? That is what is the question, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Okay, let us.
Because I'm giving a context, Prabhuji. Yeah. So the question is basically Pradhana, mode of material goodness. That is the sentence used there.
Yes.
So, and we saw that also. Pradhana, as character Pradhana mentioned that it is not influenced by any material mode. That is what he says. But it talks about Mahatattva. It talks about that in previous. That is in the material. So why we were talking about that? What is the source of the creation, right? That is what was there on that.
Okay.
So Prabhuji, go ahead with that. Please go ahead.
Okay. I'll take about 5 minutes or so. As you know, Maya has two varieties of existence. What are these? One is called the Pradhana or Prakriti. It supplies the ingredients of the material world. And Maya is the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it is divided into two parts. Maya is both the cause of the cosmic manifestation and the agent who supplies the ingredients. The ingredients are supplied by whom? It is Pradhana only. And as the cause of the cosmic manifestation, she is known as Maya. And as the agent supplying the ingredients of the cosmic manifestation, she is known as Pradhana. And Maya has, as I said, it has got two functions. One is Maya and the other is Pradhana. Maya refers to the efficient cause and Pradhana refers to the ingredient cause. And the Supreme Lord even he has said in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the unmanifested eternal combination of the three modes of material nature, cause of the manifest state, it is called Pradhana. It is called Prakriti when in the manifested state. The Lord has pointed out that material nature in its subtle stage, it is very subtle when it is known as pradhana. He analyzes the pradhana and he says that the explanation of pradhana in prakriti is that pradhana is the subtle, undifferentiated sum total of all material elements. Although they are undifferentiated, one can understand that the total material elements are contained in that pradhana. And when the total elements, material elements are manifested by the interaction of the three modes of material nature, that is known as prakriti. Now the impersonalists say that the Brahman is without variegatedness and without differentiation. One may say that pradhana is the Brahman stage, but actually the Brahman stage is not pradhana, because pradhana is distinct from Brahman, because Brahman, there is no existence of material modes of nature, but in pradhana it is there. One may argue that Mahat Tattva is also different from pradhana, because in Mahat Tattva there are manifestations. Now the actual explanation of pradhana is when the cause and effect are not clearly manifested, that is in the abhyakta stage, the reaction of the total elements, they do not take place. And at that stage of material nature, it is called pradhana. Pradhana is not the time element, because in the time element there are actions and reactions, creations, annihilation. Nor it is jiva or marginal potency or the living entities or designated conditioned living entities, because the designations of the living entities are not eternal. Now, one adjective used in this connection is nitya, which indicates eternality. Therefore, the condition of material nature immediately previous to its manifestation is known as pradhana. And material nature's prime factor is Mahatattva, or the breeding source of all varieties. Now, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he displays his own potency in the form of time and guides his material potencies, such as the mode of goodness, into a neutral condition of equilibrium, he remains as the supreme controller of that neutral state called pradhana, as well as of the living entities. He is also the supreme worshipable object of all beings, including liberated souls, demigods, ordinary conditioned souls, everybody. And the Lord is eternally free from any material designation, and he constitutes the totality of spiritual bliss, which one experiences by seeing the Lord's spiritual form. And the Lord thus exhibits the fullest meaning of the word liberation. And this is the reason why we are saying that in the initial stage, that is the pradhana stage, material mode of goodness is also there.
Okay. So yeah, so I think you gave two, three things. Basically, I'm trying to get it Prakriti, because what happens, again, impersonalism, where is the creation begins, right? They talk about Prakriti, and you are saying that Maya has two components. One is the Prakriti, and basically Pradhan, Pradhan, right? Pradhan is unmanifested. Then when becomes manifested, it's called Prakriti, and then that Prakriti has the same thing. Mahatattva and everything begins, right, with a time ingredient. You also mentioned that Pradhan, which has time, because it is inert, in the sense it is not influenced by time, it is not influenced by any karma, it's not influenced by any gunas. That's why you call. So only I was going with the term that it's a mode of goodness. So again, mode is brought. The word mode means so the why the word goodness is used there. I understand everything that we are saying, but goodness word, even the goodness word is used for what purpose?
These are the three divisions of Maya.
Okay.
Like earlier we learned the false ego in the mode of
Yeah.
goodness becomes so and so in
Yes, yes.
passion, in ignorance. These are the three states. That's why we
Agreed.
talk of goodness.
Yeah. So normally in a mode of in a goodness we call it money, mind, and the demigods. Those we are talking. My mind, I was thinking in that line.
No, 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 no.
No.
Not that. These are the three divisions of the material nature. The
Three
mode
divisions
of
of.
goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Okay.
In that sense.
But that mode of material goodness is assigned here with the pradhana, right? So pradhana is also called, if I'm not wrong here, it's a mode of material goodness, right? That's what is the word is used here.
Yes, that can be understood like that.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji, you gave good information. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Any other question or comments on today's class?
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji,
if
I got
nobody,
the sloka. Prabhuji,
yeah,
may I recite?
Yes, yes.
सर्व उपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपाल नंदन पार्थो वत्स सुधीर भोक्ता दुग्धम गीतामृतम महत्. The
Yes.
meaning is that this Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all the Upanishads, is just like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is a famous as a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. And Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and the pure devotees are to drink the nectar and milk of Bhagavad Gita. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yes, yes, that is very correct. The Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Upanishads. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of
Veda Sutra, all the Sutra,
Vedanta
Vedanta
Sutra.
Sutra.
Yes.
And what is Vedanta Sutra?
Essence of all Vedas.
Yes, Vedanta means the
Conclusion.
of the end of the Vedas. End of the Vedas, at the end of the Vedas, what you find? The Upanishads. And at the end of the Upanishads, you will find this, the essence is also the Vedanta Sutra. That means Vedanta Sutra is the essence of all Vedic literature. If we understand these 558 sutras, then there will be nothing left out. Now you will gradually realize one thing, your understanding will be so much improved that when you hear others, you will think that there is there is something more to learn from them.
True. True. Prabhuji, I have one question here. The golden person, the sun, I know. So that analogy, I did not get it. The golden person, because it's connected with the golden person, it's not a jiva, it's a golden person, it is a, Paramatma, or it's a Brahman, right? So what is that analogy?
In which context it was done?
Today's class, we had that golden person, right? That I think 20th sloka. The golden person, the sun.
Yes, but the golden person in his eyes. Even
Eyes,
I did
yes.
not understand. Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
that analogy, it talks about Unishi's son. Two things are there, that he's a golden person, and since it's eyes also, it talks about, and that is assigned. It's not a jiva. It is through that two things I can understand. It is one is a Brahman, it's a transcendental. Second thing, how to see the nazariya. As mother was trying to say, that chakshu, the jnana chakshu, by seeing that sun god, we connect with the Brahman. I could get that, but I didn't get really good connection there.
Prabhuji, it says Sutra said that the person within the sun and the eye is the personality of Brahman, not an individual conscious living entity.
Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, what is the meaning of sun and in the eye, in sun, golden person in the eye?
This sun represents what? Sun and moon, they represent the eye. They are the eyes of the Supreme Lord.
Okay, Prabhuji, in this context, we have to understand. Both are the eyes of the Supreme Brahman.
Nityasaki Mataji, can you show that slide?
I think
Just a
Slide
minute.
11.
20th sloka.
Okay. You just discuss. Let me refer to that. Any other question we can talk of? In the meantime, let me take out my other computer.
So the slide number 10 also speaks that passage anticipates doubts regarding the identity of the golden person within the sun,
Here, sun got portrayed as the, okay, here somewhere.
exploring whether he is an individual conscious being or the personality of Brahman.
You're right.
Point number 6. Point number 6, slide number 10.
The person doubts the identity of the golden person within the sun. It is the Supreme Lord only exploring whether he is an individual conscious being or a personality of Brahman. Actually, you should not go into the literal meaning of these words.
Matlab, Prabhu, the golden person means the effulgent of the Lord, if we can say like.
No,
Effulgence.
one should not go into the literal meanings, because these Vedanta Sutras or even these Upanishads, they are very, very confusing in nature. And that's why it is said that it has to be studied from a qualified guru in the ancient times. And we are, none of us are anywhere near that. That's why whatever we can understand, we are explaining.
Yeah.
But don't think that everything can be explained.
Yes, we
So-
can go according to Shri Baldev Vidyabhushan's
The
commentary.
golden-
Very true, Prabhuji. Very true.
golden person is a presiding deity of sun god,
Uh-huh.
because every the planet has a presiding deity.
Yes.
Yeah. I think, Prabhuji, you said let's not get into that, because we try to go literal meaning and we really get a lot. So the meaning is that
within the sun and the eye, the person within the sun and the eye is the Lord, because the passage from Santogya Upanishad describes its qualities. Then again it says within the sun globe there is a golden person who is seen by the yogis. He has golden hair, golden beard, and body completely golden, starting from his fingernails. His eyes are reddish, his lotus petals bloomed by the sun. Because he rises above all seen and material activity, he is called Ud, or the rising one. The Rig and Samavedas sing his glories, and from him the great highest spiritual planets, where even the demigods desire to go, have become manifest. He is the controller of all demigods and human beings, the one who fulfills their desires and grants the results of their activities. And this is the golden person present among the demigods, who one who understands him and becomes situated from all sin. And thereafter it says, now I shall describe the powerful person seen by the yogi within the eye. The Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda glorify him. He is Brahman, identical with the golden person who resides in the sun and is glorified by the same mantras. So all these explanations are there. So we should not go literally into them, because that will be too deep, and our knowledge still is superficial.
no, you connected very nicely, Prabhuji. You read through that because the yogis, they see that, right? So that person is nothing but Brahman. So, and conclusion is that we understand. Thank you.
Okay, the explanation, since time as a time is not there. Okay, one paragraph I will just read. when we look at the sun or perceive its light, the image is reflected in the eye. And modern anatomy explains that light passes through the cornea and enters the eye through the pupil and is projected into the retina, where it is transformed into electrical signals that are transmitted to the brain. And in this way, when we see the sun, the image is projected inside the eye into the retina. Therefore, the person present in the sun is also present inside the eye, just like deity is simultaneously present on the altar and a photo in one's home. Since we perceive this image and its effects are consciousness, it also becomes present in the mind and in the heart. The heart is the seat of the soul, which is the center of consciousness. Like this, the explanation, long explanation goes on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Prabhuji, one important thing, because our eyes, Devta is sun god only. Because of his, we can able to see. अधिष्ठान देवता हमारी आंखों की जो है वो सूर्य देवी है.
Yes, yes. The last paragraph I will read. This is also very important. One mistake we frequently make when interpreting verses from the scriptures is that to start from a preconceived idea instead of taking the description given in the verse as well as previous and following verses as a whole and finding an understanding that harmonizes all these different ideas with the conclusions received through disciplic succession. We know that there is a demigod who lives in the sun, and thus when we hear a description starting with within the sun globe, there is a golden person with golden hair, we may immediately presume that it is the description of the demigod who resides in the sun. However, when we take into consideration the characteristics described along with, we know that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these are very intricate things. If we read or try to understand superficially, then our understanding will not be very, very clear. And there is no time in this 1 hour class or 1 hour 10 minutes to describe all these things.
प्रभु जी आपने कौन सी बुक में से पढ़ा प्रभु जी? सीसी दास?
Yes.
Okay, प्रभु जी.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we can conclude the class with the Nrsinga prayers, please.
May I do? Dipti Mataji, please you do.
Okay, thank you. Namaste Narasingaya Praladaladarai Ne Hiranyakasi Purvakya Silatankaranakhalai Ito Nasinga Parato Nasinga Ito yami tato natsinga Bahi natsinga Hridaye natsinga Narasinga madi saranam Prapati Tavakara kamala bhari Nakam adbhuta srungam Dalita Hiranyakasyapu Tanubhrungam Kesavadruta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisa Hare Jaya Jagadisa Hare Jaya Jagadisa Hare Jaya Narsingade, Jaya Narsingade, Narsingadev, Jaya Narsingadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev. जय श्री गुरु नरसिंह भगवान की जय, जय श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, जय ऑल डिवोटीज की जय, शरद प्रभु जी की जय. थैंक यू प्रभु जी फॉर दिस वंडरफुल सेवा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे.
Thank you very much. Then we meet